In this video, we are going to talk about loops in Python. Now, loops is a very fundamental concept in programming, not just in Python, any programming language. If you are learning loops, is one of the foundational concepts. And in this video, we'll try to understand what is the need for loops and how loops are written in Python. Before we get into the syntactical part of loops in Python, let us look at a motivating example to understand what loops are. And even before that, let us understand what is the requirement for loop or what is the need for loops. Okay. So let me take an example where let me take a list of students. Okay. And let me say here I have three students called Ram, Shyam, and Radheshyam. Okay. And now suppose I want to print a welcome message for all of these students. So the message is going to be something like, let me say the message is going to be, I'm using a f string here. I'm going to use name of student and I'm going to say welcome to him. Okay. And suppose I want to print this welcome message for all of the students which I have in the list. So what will I do? Probably I'm going to do this. I'm going to say name of student is equal to list of students. Let me run this. Okay. Okay, I'm not getting, okay, let me not have this. Let me just have list of students, and I'm going to say list of students. I'm going to take Ram first, and then I'm going to print a message here. I'm going to say print message. Okay. And for the next student, again, I will take this again, and I'm going to make it one, and I will have a welcome message for Sham. And then again, I'm going to copy paste this here, and I'm going to use two here, and I'll get welcome Radhesham. So here I have printed welcome message for all of the three students. And by now you would have understood the problem in this approach, because here I am having names of three students and I'm copy pasting the same code again and again. And sometime earlier I have mentioned about do not repeat yourself concept in programming or generally in life, that if you're doing the same thing again and again, then there is something wrong and we need to optimize that process. So here we are having three students and we are writing the same code again and again in order to get welcome message for the three students. There are multiple problems with this. One is that I'm copy pasting the code, so it's the same piece of code that is coming again and again. Suppose I need to change, instead of this welcome, if suppose I want to add something else here, suppose I want to add a message here, how are you, I will have to copy paste this again and again three times, which is again prone to mistakes. This is taking unnecessary space and unnecessary time. And more, the most important problem here is that here we have three members in the list. Suppose instead of three, we had 300, then this code is going to explode for no reason. So this is the problem that loops will solve. So what does loops do? Loop will execute the same block of code again and again until certain condition is met. Okay. So a loop will allow me to run this same block of code for Ram and then for Sham and then for Radhesham without copying the code multiple times. That is what loops, that is the need for loops. And loops, again, like I said, it's very fundamental, very basic concept that we need to learn in order to write any kind of Python code. So I hope you all of you understood what is the need for writing loops. And now let us look at some of the other concepts around loops, and then we will come back and we'll talk about the syntactical aspect of loop or how loops are written in Python. Okay, so let us understand a little bit more about loops. I give you an example of list of students. Let me call it students, and I have maybe say three entries here. Maybe let me just keep two entries, Ram and Sham. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to run a block of code. The block of code is this print. So the way loop is going to work is that we are going to take a temporary variable, say for example x, and we are going to say that this x is going to first take the value of Ram. Okay, so x will be here, and when the value of x is Ram, I'm going to execute this line of statement. And once this line of statement is executed, the x will move to here, and again this line of statement will be executed. And once this is done, it will move to the third element or the fourth element or the fifth element. Let me add one more element here. Okay, so once Sham is executed, this x will go and sit with Mohan until the end of the list has been arrived at. So here I'm taking list, but it need not always be a list. It can also be a tuple, it can also be a dictionary, it can be a string, it can be any object in Python that is a iterable on which we can iterate. So list is one iterable in Python. We'll talk about iterables later. For now, let us just take the example of list for understanding. Once we have learned that, we will be able to expand this idea into other data structures also. So what is the syntax? The syntax for doing this in Python is using, as long as we are on the topic of loops, let me tell you there are two types of loops in Python. The first type is called as a for loop, and the second is called as a while loop. Okay, so first we are going to learn about for loop, and then we will talk about while loop. So right now what I'm going to show you is called as a for loop. Even the example that I gave you, this example is of a for loop. Even this example that I gave you, this example is of a for loop. Okay, so let us look at the syntax for for loop. What is the syntax for loop? So the syntax for loop goes like this. We use the keyword for. Okay, and keep in mind that this is the list on which we are going to iterate. So we are going to say for, and we are going to take any temporary variable. That variable can be anything, you can name it anything, although it is advised to take some meaningful name, but for now let me just take value x. So I'm going to say for x in, and the name of the variables students. Okay, I'm going to say students. Keep in mind that what this student is a list of some names, r, s, whatever. Okay, and we are going to say that this x is going to take the value of r first, and then whatever block of code is there inside this for is going to get executed. Okay, there is no need for curly braces here, and we are going to have any number of code lines here. So right now I just want to have one print statement. I'm going to say print. Okay, and this is the code. Now what this code is going to do, when it is executed, the first time it will print welcome when the x is taking the value of ram, and then once that is done, x will go and take the value of s, and again it will print welcome. But we want to print the name of the person. We want to print welcome Ram and welcome Shyam. Okay, so what we can do, we can add this Ram and Shyam here. Let me modify this statement here to say welcome, and I want to take the value dynamically. X contains the value of Ram. Here, let me make it Ram and Shyam. Here, X has taken the value of Ram. So when we are printing here, we'll say just welcome X. Let's say welcome X. This has to be a F string, and this has to be a curly braces. This has to be F string, and here I need to have this variable X. So it's going to print welcome, and then here it's going to be Ram. And then X is, once this is executed, X is going to go and take the value of Shyam, and it will print welcome X. Now X has value Shyam, so here it will print Shyam. And just by writing this line of code, we can continue printing welcome Ram, welcome Shyam, welcome Radhe Shyam. It does not matter whether there are 2 elements or 200 elements or 2 million elements. In order to print all the welcome messages, we just need to write these 2 lines. We don't have to copy our code again and again. Now here I have just included one print statement, but actually you can write entire code here with hundreds of lines that will be executed for every single element in Ramen in this list. I hope this concept of loop is clear. Let us take one more example, and then we'll go to Python and Python console and try to write this out. Say for example, suppose I have a list of numbers. Say 4, 6, 15, 18, and 21. And I need to check for each number whether the number is odd or even. Okay, and I want to print for 4, I want to print 4 is even, 6 is even, 15 is odd, 16 is 18 is even, and 21 is odd. So if we don't have loops, what are we going to do? We are going to check individually for 4, we are going to divide it by 2, remainder is 0. Then we are going to say it is even. Again, we are going to do it for 6. Again, we are going to do it for 15. So if there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements in this list, we will be writing 5 conditions 5 different times. But in loops, we can do it by just writing 2 lines of code. And instead of 5, even if there are 500 elements, the same logic will apply. So what are we going to do? First, we are going to check whether a number is even or not. So suppose I have a number x is equal to 5. How are we going to check whether it is even or not? We are going to do a division with 2. This is modulus division, which will give me the remainder. And if this is equal to 0, then this means the number is even. If this is not equal to 0, then this is odd. Correct? So what is the statement that we have to write? We have to write if x modulus 2 is equal to 0, then print even, else print odd. This is the condition, this is the code we have to write, but we have to write this code for every single element in this list. For 4 also we have to write, for 6 also we have to write, for 15, for 18, for 21 we have to write. Okay, so we have the block of code, we just need some logic to implement this code for every single member of this list. So this is where we can write a for loop. So what are we going to do? We are going to say for x in nums. Okay, keep in mind what nums is. This is nums, and x is going to take the value of 4 and execute this set of statements. Then x is going to take the value of 6, then it will take the value of 15, 18, 21. So we can just take this line of this block of code. We can just take this block of code and we can move it here inside this. Okay, and this block of code will be executed. If instead of x, if instead of x here we choose a different variable, suppose we choose y, and it is up to us what to choose. If we suppose choose y, then here we'll have to write y, whatever value we take. Okay, this is about for loops. So now let us take this idea and try to see how we are going to implement it in Python.